So, practical nurse program. This picture, oh, this is funny. Sometimes this happens when we put PowerPoints up on this program, is that all the letters shift and we don't find out until we're in front of people presenting the PowerPoint. So my apologies. This is the graduating class from our program last year, and this is a picture of them at their capping and pinning ceremony. What happens is that as you cross the stage as a new practical nurse graduate, that you get your hat, your cap, and then you're also presented with a pin welcoming you to the practical nurse profession. Jake, you're already accepted. That is awesome. What site are you accepted for? Woodminster. What's popular this year? So congratulations. We're just going to move on. A little picture here of the practical nurse in action. The practical nurse is a profession under the Health Professions Act, and it's regulated by the College of Licensed Practical Nurses of Alberta. It is, or in Saskatchewan, Jake, you can get a license there after you're done. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about what that means, some things about the program. We can talk about some of those travel concerns, absolutely. And if you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to try and answer them. So one of the things that's really near and dear to us here is when we talk about our health careers mission and vision, and the health program's mission statement that we have here is to provide health education based on best practice to graduate safe, caring, and compassionate professionals. Best practice is a term that you'll hear from now until graduation. It's based on evidence-based practice. And what that means is that it gets everybody on the same page to carry on with a practice that is going to be consistent and to the highest standard for all of your patients throughout your practice. Our health professions vision statement is first choice online health education provider meeting health system and workforce needs. And we can talk a little bit more about what that timeline looks like of what's online and what you need to be available for face-to-face as well. So it sounds like somebody's already accepted. You're looking at doing some, you've done some upgrading and looking at joining the program. So what we're talking about here is the Practical Nurse Program prepares you to earn your license. We don't actually license people. What we do is we do a 2-year program that once you're done that program and you are put forward to the College of Licensed Practical Nurses of Alberta, then you're eligible for a license, and that's where the term licensed practical nurse comes from, instead of what you'll hear us refer to as the practical nurse or the PN program. Practical nursing is a self-regulated profession with a unique body of knowledge, standards of practice, code of ethics, competencies, and a societal contract to provide safe, quality, and holistic patient care. Pardon me, I'm like stumbling over everything tonight. So we'll just move on from there a little bit. When we talk about this program is delivered through supported distance learning and face-to-face lab components, this means that essentially the idea is that you can be in a community that might not have the PN program exactly in it. As long as you can get to labs and you can get to clinicals, then any of the classes that you would typically be in a classroom for, maybe in a face-to-face program, then we do our classes online. So some of the prerequisites that we talk about here, academic requirements, of course, and I'm not going to read you guys the academic requirements here. You can go ahead and have a look at them. They are all either 20 or 30 classes. But the other thing that we have here is you'll notice that there's something called 0190 classes. Has anybody that's here been taking the 0190 classes? No? Okay. No, not yet. Not, that's okay. So when we talk about our program design, the content of the Northern Lakes College Practical Nurse Program has the theory, the lab, and clinical nursing experiences. And what we do is we start off with your very basic skills. So there's not an expectation that you have a background in healthcare to take our program. And then we move, as we move through the program, then we get into the more complex skills and the parts that you might not, maybe not necessarily see when you look at a nurse performing kind of day-to-day duties. We work around a conceptual framework that we'll look at here on another slide, and it's also supported by arts and science courses. So what happens is that at the end of the program, the competencies are met at graduation, and then once you've met all those outcomes, that's when you're put forward to be able to be licensed. So this is kind of a screenshot here just of our program. And I know it's hard to read on this slide, so everybody should be aware too. It's actually on the website. If you go on prospective students and then you look down to the health programs, this is right off of the website there. What I do want to draw your attention to here though is see where at the bottom where it says total credits. So we require 86 college credits to get to the end of the practical nurse program. So it's a pretty intensive program. It's a full-time program. When people hear that it's online, sometimes people have an idea that maybe you could, do it nights and weekends and just kind of catch up, sort of say. I just kind of want to bring that to people's attention that it is quite a big commitment to take this program. If something happens and you think to yourself, okay, you know what, I'd really like to take this program, but you don't know if being full-time is going to work for you right off the bat, then there's a few different ways that we can approach it, and it's a conversation that we could absolutely have. This again is hard to read. These slides don't blow up super well. It's the cost for first year, and then I have the cost for second year as well. They actually haven't been updated yet. This is still the 2022 to 23 costs, and so once these are updated, they will be posted on the website. If you have already been admitted to the program, you will also be able to get that information from admissions as soon as it's available. So this is year 2. It's not much more visible than year 1 is, but this is the format that it'll look like when it's updated on the website. Just keep an eye out at the very top there. It has the date on it. So this is the framework that I was talking about a little bit earlier. And these are the components of the conceptual framework for our practical nurse curriculum. So what we see in the middle here is the nursing process. And the reason that that's in the middle is because we talk about our nursing process a lot and how it fits in to all of these different areas. So when you go to the outside of the circle here and you kind of read your way around all of these different pieces, that all goes into part of the nursing process. And that's something about it when you're starting the program, you'll be introduced to that quite quickly. And then when you go to the outside of the circle here, these are more the components that we talk about. And so of course, practical nurse is us or you as a student is what we're talking about. And we're talking about the person, and we're also talking about the profession of practical nursing. And then when we talk about the client, of course, that one is quite self-evident about what we're talking about with our clients. And that can be anywhere from an acute care setting, a long-term care, home care, community care. There's all kinds of opportunities now to work as a licensed practical nurse with various different kinds of clients. And when we talk about health, particularly in this concept, we always want to think about how we're not really talking about the absence of disease as much as we're talking about people having well-being and generalized well-being. There's a great big definition that came out from the World Health Organization that goes with that, but I'm not going to read it all to you today here. You will hear lots of that when you get in the program. The last piece here that I just want to draw your attention to, though, a little bit is about the environment. And when we talk about environment, often we think about the conditions or, what's outside, maybe, even inside when we're talking about situations. We also want to think about the environment of the people around us. So if you are a practical nurse and you're working with your client, their family might be considered part of the environment as well. So this comes straight out of the handbook that is our program handbook. And so if you are accepted or if you're looking to be accepted, you will soon find yourself with a copy of this handbook. All right, so just a few things to touch on if folks are looking to get into the practical nurse program, but you might not have exactly those prerequisites yet. Northern Lakes College also has what we call college and career prep. So what that means is that we have, we call them the 0190 courses. And so you might need, if you need a science, if you need English or a math, to get into our program, but you have these prerequisites, what you can do is you can take the bio 0190, English 0190, or math 0190, and those will qualify you as a prerequisite to the practical nurse program. Something I do want to caution you on, though, is that these courses are developed at Northern Lakes College, and they're developed with the intent of gearing people towards our health programs. So these are not necessarily transferable to other colleges or universities. Each course is offered fall, winter, and spring, and is considered a one-term course. So if you do decide to go with the college and career prep courses, what you will do is you'll gain entrance requirements for programs within Northern Lakes College. And sometimes people will have the prerequisites but say, oh my gosh, you know what? I haven't taken bio for 10 years and I honestly don't remember anything from that course. So you can go on ahead, you can take the bio 0190, and it will set you up really nicely to take our science courses, which our anatomy and physiology is first term. We also have university studies within our PN program. And so what that means is that there are courses that are taught by the University Studies Department, and they actually give you university credit for you just have university credit to go with these courses. Some of the courses are taught synchronous, and when we talk about synchronous, what that means is that they're live online classes. Some of the courses are asynchronous. So for us, that means that there are no live classes. However, there might be postings that you have to engage in every week. Your instructor will still be contacting you, and there still is a timeline to complete the courses. Attendance is not mandatory, but it's really highly recommended for those live online classes. Anytime that there are live online classes, if you're planning on taking the course, but you absolutely can't make it to the live version of the class, we also do record all of our classes. And so you always have that opportunity to go back and look at the recording. I find lots of students use this as a study tool, even if they actually went to the live classes. The university studies within the practical nurse program, they do COM 1000, HEED 1010, English 1000, SOCI in the fall, and then this is first year in the winter, you would do Psych 1060, and then second year is Sociology 2750. There are opportunities if anybody is looking to take some of those university studies ahead of time. The only cautionary thing that I like to tell people is that if you're looking to get a full-time loan, your university studies courses are part of what they call your full-time equivalency. So if you take more university studies courses ahead of time, then they will accept, then you might end up with a part-time student loan. So if it's something that you're interested in doing, you can talk to myself, you can talk to Catherine, who is the coordinator for the University Studies program, and we can help you kind of pick and choose what will work for you, and so you can get a little bit ahead but not have a problem with your funding. Graduation requirements, we just need to mention that you do need an overall GPA of 2.0 to graduate from our program. Anything less than a 2.0 actually jeopardizes your eligibility for graduation. And we do regular check-ins with students, and if your academic standards are not up to par, then we can talk about what some of your options are at that time.